By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to go from a failed project to a successful project. And this is basically from a personal experience I had trying to build a community. My name is Precious and I'm a brand strategist. I'm also a community lover. I've been building communities all my life. Right from when I was in primary school, I always loved bringing people together for a particular purpose and for something meaningful. In 2023, after I left school, I tried building my first official community, documented and monetized. And the name of this community was Stickers Cabin. At that point, the sole purpose of this community is to teach people sales, to build a community of salesmen, because I realized I had this strong thing for sales and I easily closed clients. As long as I had the opportunity and I had one leg in the door, I'm going to close the deal. So after I started up Stickers Cabin, the first month it was gloomy, second month it was gloomy, third month it was gloomy. I had people, we even went on Instagram Live, people now began to pay to join the community. People began to see the effect of the community in their business and also in their personal life. And I wasn't making so much, but I felt like, I was beginning to do something beautiful with my life, because my life is all about impacting others than just making money. I mean, till now, I am young and changing the world is just so much important to me, even if I'm not the Messiah. So by the fourth, fifth month, that is when it felt like a force was coming against me. I saw something that I genuinely didn't appreciate. Someone, I don't want to go into all the details. Someone posted something on his WhatsApp status, and the person is more like a big figure. And I don't even have his WhatsApp status, but someone reposted it, and I was like, yo, wait, you pay for this, and you don't have this. Like, okay, let me just give you a scenario. You pay to do this. You literally pay to do this, but you don't have a lot of money in your account. But this person is making you pay for this. All right. So instead of you to pay for this, why don't you just go get books and get some courses online, which are going to be less cheaper for you, and learn this knowledge firsthand. Then if you need more growth over time, the knowledge that you have gathered from the books and courses would be able to fund you now paying for, extra mentorship and all of those stuff, instead of burning yourself out. Like, you are still a student, your parents send you money to take care of yourself, and all you do with the money is basically send it to another man. Now you don't have enough to feed yourself, and so on and so forth. And after having a discussion, the person understood and went on to build. But I think here is maybe where I made a mistake. I realized that a lot of people who are also on my contact list, we are paying for the same thing. I don't want to mention because, it's in the past. So I voiced out, I said it on my status, like, oh, every one of you, this thing you are doing, it is not for everyone. If you don't have this source of income, then I don't think you should be paying for this thing yet. You should be focused on learning. Like, don't be lazy to pick up books and read, get courses, do this and do that. And after putting out that on my WhatsApp status, well, when I knew I was in trouble, when I knew I was totally cooked, was there's this very close friend of mine. Then she was the first person who texted me. I was like, take this thing down, because the person who was charging for all of this stuff happened to be our mentor, and they were very close. And I was like, why? So the screenshot and everything got to the guy, and the next day was a Sunday morning. I was in church and my phone just kept on buzzing. Then after church, I checked my phone, and there was lots of people from different places, people who I don't even have their numbers, people who I don't even know where they are from. They were just messaging me and messaging me and messaging me. And they were like, I had lots of threat messages then. Oh, can't take this thing down. Who are you? And then one guy sent me the screenshot of what the person who was charging posted. The person took my picture from my Instagram, and the person was like, I've forgotten the word he used, and was like, I don't know my value. That is why I'm saying people should not pay for this, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. And here is where it broke me. The members of the community whom I have poured into, I'm going to say this openly, yeah? One of the members of the community, this is so heartbreaking. When she reached out to me, she told me that, I've been under mentorship from this guy for the longest, and I've not been able to get any impact. I don't even know what I'm doing, and basically I'm paying. Can you help me? And I helped her. We went on a clarity journey. She began to, see the things that she could start monetizing and how to make money from it, and so on and so forth. But when it came crashing, she was one of the first people who came online to drag me, like literally dragged me. And a week before that, she sent me an appreciation email, like an appreciation email that was well composed. So it was heartbreaking. I began to regret. Now, I was stuck in between. Do I regret posting it, or do I regret doing what I did for these guys in the community? Or should I just be me? What I did wasn't bad. So I was mentally crashing out. In my life, people haven't come online before to drag me, post my pictures. People who I don't even know text me, threaten me, tell me I'm a fool, you don't know your worth, this, I was mentally crashing out. So at that point, when I was doing all these things, I was also helping someone who I was learning from build his own community. So he called me and he was like, how are you doing? I'm fine. Then he proceeded to tell me that I should not think about it so much, that the whole stuff wasn't necessary. Like, why are they dragging me? Because I didn't even call anyone's name. I just addressed the issue of what people should pay for and what people shouldn't pay for. But they just knew I was talking to them. So he called me. I think that calmed me down a bit. My pastor also spoke to me. That calmed me down a bit. The gas cabin crashed automatically. And everything that I built slept off because one man who had more influence than me posted me in a negative light. What can be more embarrassing and more discouraging to build a community than the way it happened to me? And the brand strategy of me was like, let's do a comeback. That was like 3-4 months after the whole stuff. I was like, let's do a comeback. Let's change the name to the Builder's Cabin. And the purpose now was taking people from just learning sales to building stuffs. Because at that point, I had built Smile Tech, I had built Homies, although Homies failed. I had built Smiley Food. We got pretty much clients while Smiley Foods existed, and so on and so forth, things that I've built. So I had experience in building stuff. So I was like, let me create a builders community. So while I am keeping them accountable in building, I'm also building other things that I had in mind, and other visions that I had in my head. But it didn't work. It didn't even fly an inch. And basically, I didn't have the money to, pump into ads. So the reach that I had was limited because of that guy's influence. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is this: you don't put yourself in a position where you are going to burn out if one person cancels you. You don't put yourself in that position, and that was where I was. All right. So many people that I had coming to me, they were coming to me because someone posted me and posted the impact I had. And this same person who posted me and posted the impact I had is close to the image, the guy who dragged me and every other thing. So when the guy wrote me off, the person wrote me off. And it now felt as if that this person that, pushed me out is now writing me off. And everybody will now be like, oh, this person is now a bad guy. Why? Because the person who advised them to join me before is now writing me off. So you don't do that. That is the point where I began to tell people that you see advertisements like influencer advertisements, influencer promotions and everything. I have my against it. I'm not really like a full fan of influencer promotions and all of that, because at the point where they write the influencer off, your brand might take the hit too. Unless you have like a very strong community from a total different source, not that influencer. So that was the first lesson I learned. Say no to influencer promotions and advertisements. Then fast forward to 2 years later, 2025. Okay, 2024, I tried pumping back. I tried using a newsletter called Lihero. Lihero meant light. So using a newsletter to come back. I got subscribers, alright, but I realized that I was not still mentally healed from the past experience. Like I had this fear, like, oh, I don't want to be out there like that. Oh, I don't want to be out there like that. And I was holding myself back. So I cancelled it. Then 2025, September, I was in a camp meeting and I was praying. Like, this is one of the hardest prayers that I have learned to pray. And the prayer was, God, what would you have me do? And the first thing that came to my head was, go and build a community. Go and impact lives. Go and teach. These are the skills. These are the things that you have. Go and use it. Express it. Don't box it in. That was just what I was getting at that point, at that moment. And before then, I had spoken to my pastor and he was like, Precious, I see you building your own stuff. Why do you keep running from it? And it was something that happened 2 years ago. This thing totally crashed me out, totally drained me. The project failed, name cancelled. But at that point, I got a revival and a restoration of like mind and every other thing around it. I went back to build. And I started building Ourtalento, which you basically know now. And one thing I told myself is this: we are gonna fly high. The community is gonna fly high, not because of me, because I want to prove people wrong, but because I want to that's if you notice that I didn't call anyone's name because they are not that important to my story. But the community is going to fly high. The reason why it's going to fly high, it's because of the purpose. And you also have to come to the point where you're going to tell yourself that I built this thing and it failed. Now, one question: did I build this for the right reason? If yes, go back. If you fail, and you're mentally crashing out, take a break, go back. And the question is, what helped me move from a place of feeling mentally off it, like feeling depressed about the thought of building a community? What made me move from that point to the point where we are here? We have a community in Europe. We have Unilag, we have in Delta, we have in River State. What made me come to that point? It is simply one thing. I asked myself, why am I doing this? And I wrote down the single reason and purpose why I was doing that. And then I asked myself, will men get better by this thing I'm doing? Will there be a transformation? Will there be a change? Will there be an improvement by this thing I'm doing? And yes was the answer. That's all I needed. And of course, God's hand is in it. And then I went on and I started building. And it should come to that point where you go and start building, no matter what you are feeling inside of you. Just start with what you have. When I started, I started, then I brought in people. So when I started with Ourtalento, I was squatting at my brother's place. So I was limited. because we had to teach. Right now there's a whiteboard here, and so we had to teach. So at this point, I had more reasons. I had more reasons not to build than I had then when I was building Teka's cabin. Teka's cabin, I had all the setup before I relocated. I had all the setup I needed. But I left everything, gave some out before I relocated. So now I was at the new place. I was just trying to get my feet strong and everything, and I have to start building again. So it felt like the passion is being renewed. The purpose is now clearer. But then the resources are gone. But I went on and I started. And we launched on the 21st of March. And here we are today. So, two things I want to end this talk with. The first thing is go back. Go back to that dream. Go back to that vision that you once had. That thing that you once said you are going to build. That thing that you saw as a problem that needed to be solved. Go back to it. Don't let resources limit you. Don't let past failures limit you. Don't let what people will say limit you. Don't let your past mistakes limit you. Go back to it. Go back to it. And if you need someone to keep you accountable and also give you the skills, the right skills, communication, networking, sales, clothed with personal branding. If you need someone to give you this thing as a means for you to fly better and fly higher, then come into our Ourtalento community. That is the simple reason why our community exists. I have felt what you have felt, not once, not twice, 3 times. Aside from other things that failed, it's not like I'm trying to brag about failure right now. I'm trying to brag about moving from failure to still moving. Don't stop. Don't stop. The sky is not your limit. There is no limit to which you can fly, achieve. The limit is what you said is your limit. If you say here is your limit, then here automatically becomes your limit. If you say here is your limit, then here automatically becomes your limit. But if you say there is no limit, then there is no limit.